Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Jason Drummond, CEO of MedPal AI, following the company's significant NHS contract approval this morning and the rapid prescription growth. Jason, welcome.
Good morning, Martin.
Well, congratulations, first of all, on your first NHS contract and first of many, I hope. So please talk us through the details. And does this in any way change your commercial trajectory?
No, not really. I mean, we've talked a lot about this, the goal of making healthcare accessible to everyone instantly at ultra kind of low cost or even free. And my feeling is that with the advent of AI and robotics, that's a real thing, and we're turning it into a reality. So it was always my idea that we would look to do that, and really securing the NHS contract, buying the assets of Universal Pharmacy have now given us that kind of that missing element. It completes this sort of company's dual engine business model, which is creating this very complementary flywheel that drives demand generation through our wellness app. And then we now have a fulfillment capability and also access to the clinic services of independent prescribers and GPs. So basically, the AI does all the work, or a lot of the work. It works out. It's got all your data. It's really tracking all your data through the app. So that's all your data coming in from your connected health devices. When you have issues, it will try and help diagnose and does an AI triage, and then it hands you over at the last minute to an independent prescriber or a GP who can then press a button and prescribe a medication. And now with this sort of 24/7 distribution facility and these amazing robots that we've acquired, which can dispense medication in seconds rather than like 10 to 15 minutes, we can bring the cost down to effectively zero. So get the MedPal app on your phone. You can get instant access to IPs and GPs and medication, and we're not charging for that. It's an exciting product to get out in the market.
Well, yeah, it is indeed. And I'm sure investors will be pretty impressed to hear you've dispensed almost 15,000 prescriptions in just 10 days. I mean, but at the same time, they're all going to be asking, what's driving that early demand and is it sustainable?
Yeah, we talked about the initial facility at Universal being scaled up to 100,000 items or prescriptions a month. As you mentioned, we in the first 10 days of operation, we've done just under 15,000 items, prescriptions, which is really exciting. It seems to show we're going to fill that facility pretty damn quickly. So I think we're going to be on the market for some more robots, dispensing robots, to get that capability up from 100,000. Our feeling, we came at this from really from a user's perspective. I always had this dream of being able to provide, low cost, instantly available healthcare, because I think the way of doing it up until now is a little bit broken, and it's a bit like if you look at retail in the mid-90s before Amazon, it has that feel about it. But the reality is we couldn't build MedPal until AI came on the scene, and obviously with these dispensing robots, which make it turns it from a goal to a reality.
Well, with this NHS approval, you've now secured that. What operational challenges do you face in scaling fulfillment and maintaining service quality as volume grows?
Well, that's been a really important. That's obviously incredibly important. We're very focused on customer service. The Universal facility at its height was doing around 30,000 prescriptions a month, so there was already an infrastructure there. We trebled the size of the unit. I think we in an announcement in it was just earlier, in actually just literally 3 weeks ago. We trebled the size of the facility. We've got the director of pharmacy from Tesco's, Mike Rudin, which has been a great hire. He took Tesco's from 0 to over 200 stores in just over a year. So we've got the right team. Also, what's interesting with the dispensing robots, the accuracy is just phenomenal. It's like 99.99999 accuracy. With traditional pharmacy, you get 10% error rate with human beings, would you believe? So we're very focused on delivering an absolute top end customer service. Our opening hours are much longer than a traditional pharmacy. The app runs 24/7. We've got pharmacists and machines running 24/7 in terms of the GPs and IPs that we're doing very extended open hours. So very focused on scaling this thing. We've been investing heavily in the state-of-the-art technology, the robotics, to get the prescriptions out. So we can scale. Clearly the demand is there. So we started with this idea that that the old way of doing things is pretty broken. Trying to get hold of a GP, calling the GP surgery takes you maybe half an hour, 45 minutes. They call you back. They then have to assess your need. Often, if you're not elderly, you're not sort of dying, you might take 2 or 3 days to get in to see a GP. You have to take time off work. You're already about 3 or 4 hours in before you even see the GP. You then see the GP. They give you the prescription. The prescription gets sent to a pharmacist on the high street. Your 5 hours of your time invested. Young people don't have the time to do that anymore. It's a model that's broken. With MedPal, you could literally wake up in the middle of the night feeling ill. You go through your symptoms with the AI triage. It works out how we can help you, what medication you need. You'll hand it over to an IP prescriber, get you prescribed, and we can get medication out to you same day, next day. And that's literally could take you 2-3 minutes rather than 5 hours. So that's really where we started this, trying to come up with a product that just doesn't exist right now. And now it's a reality. So it's pretty exciting. I'm not surprised that we're seeing significant take up. I think it's just the start.
Well, that's interesting. And you've also launched this sort of private weight loss service. How do you see the mix of NHS and private services evolving within the business?
Well, I think that's it's somewhat driven by the fact that I guess it's probably not lost on you, Martin, but how many of our friends suddenly have lost huge amounts of weight, looking great, feeling great. This Mounjaro Wegovy weight loss thing is pretty exciting. 2.5 million people in the UK are now on a weight loss medication. That's around 500 million a month. So it'd be foolish for us to ignore that. It's a huge market. But what's actually worth mentioning is if you go online, you'll see there are companies specifically offering just weight loss. That's all they do. We're obviously coming in and we're leaning in with a weight loss product, but we're unusual in that the universal facility enables us to prescribe thousands of drugs, all of the NHS products. So we're geared up with state-of-the-art robots that can dispense everything. So weight loss is just going to be part of what we're doing. But it's a huge opportunity. It's a way in which we can win a lot of customers. But one of the things we will be doing is encouraging customers when they come onto MedPal to basically connect to the MedPal's pharmacy through the NHS app, which means that all their future prescriptions could also be dispensed by us as well. So our plan is not just about helping you lose weight. And obviously what's interesting there is that if you think about MedPal, we start off by having all of your data. We know your BMI, we know your weight, we know how often you go to the gym. So we're in a perfect position to help you on that weight loss journey and support you and do it in a really good, ethical way. There's been various stories about some of the companies in the market not being so ethical, and we certainly approach it in a very, very different way. So we think it's going to be a great market for us to come into. But certainly our ambition is really we want to put MedPal on everyone's phones to make sure that whenever you need any kind of medication, access to a GP, access to an independent prescriber, to medication, you've got it on your phone. We're not, it's zero costs. I mean, why would you not put MedPal on your phone?
So out of interest then, Jason, the demand for these GLP-1s, the weight loss drugs, they're going through the roof at the moment. Do you see the price coming down because there's so much demand?
Well, I think we're seeing, obviously, you saw a situation with Eli Lilly where they pushed up the price of Mounjaro. It's a good question. I mean, there are a lot of amazing products. I mean, I know everyone's focusing at the moment on Mounjaro, but there's some incredible products coming out next year. Eli Lilly is obviously bringing out, obviously maybe you don't know that, but they're bringing out a pill rather than injecting, to inject yourself with Mounjaro or Wegovy. So I think it's just the beginning, really, of these type of medications, which could getting incredible results. I don't know. I think you're seeing, for example, with Wegovy, which was the dominant product. Then Mounjaro came out. Mounjaro based the price went up. A lot of people switched back to Wegovy because it's effective. It's sort of 17% weight loss. I think Mounjaro is 20%, but it's significantly lower cost. So and we're also just say we're coming out with the lowest price in the market. So we're focusing on being incredibly competitive on the product to give it the best possible value to our customers, to our users.
Well, we've touched a few times on scalability, and obviously this is one of the big concerns, or something that investors are going to be looking to for. What's your roadmap for expanding nationally? And I'm going to push you a little bit. Any further sort of NHS contracts in the pipeline?
Well, I guess if we've known each other for a long time, Martin. You've seen my previous businesses where we tend not to hang around. So we do a lot of big deals, a lot of partnerships, a lot of acquisitions, M&A. That's just the nature of how I tend to work. And also, I think it's having the AIM platform works really well for doing M&A. specifically on the DSP licenses, these are an amazing asset because you can't get them anymore, right? So there's only a small number of them out there. But the GPHC stopped issuing them in June of this year. Technically, we can supply the whole of the UK from our big facility down in Norfolk. But I think, we will be on the lookout for other DSPs in different locations. We have this ambition to be the sort of Amazon of healthcare, bring it into this sort of the dark ages, into this sort of the way in which people want to work and consume services. So having multiple locations across the country means we can do a lot more same day deliveries as well as not just the next day. Also, my feeling is that the NHS, particularly on the NHS work, we're seeing upward pressure on prescription prices and medication prices. So I think these are businesses which will actually have more value in the future. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised we have some more acquisitions in relatively not too distant future.
Well, that's wonderful here, Jason, and thank you so much for your time. I mean, this early momentum you're achieving is phenomenal, and I take my hat off to you.
Thank you, Martin.
Take care. Thanks.